right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is in the studio, and if you have a question about cars, this is a good time to call it in. Maybe your own car, or maybe you're looking to buy a car, because, Matt represents not just car repairs, but car sales as well. He's with Sunrise Automotive. He's the owner of Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales, both of which I am a customer. And you do in-house financing. Just mention that real quickly, right?
I do.
You sort of kind of asked me about something off the air that reminded me of that. So I was watching an interview with Goldie Hawn, the actress, and somebody asked her how she got into acting or something. And I can't remember what she said. She was dancing someplace, and somebody gave her a card, and she kind of dismissed it. And anyway, long story short, she got a call, and she realized, it was a real thing. It wasn't just some guy hitting on her. I guess she was hit on all the time because she was kind of cute. And she said, so I drove down to my first audition and she named the car, like an old car, and it had no floor. And I'm thinking, wow, a lady who became very successful in show business was driving a car with no floor. That's a rags to riches story if you think about it, right? Yeah. I mean, I had a car. We were talking about first cars yesterday with one of the ladies who was visiting us, and mine was a Comet. Robin's was a Camaro. She trumped all of us. And the ladies was a Toyota Corolla. And we were talking about car shows, how when you go there, it's nostalgia. And I can remember my Comet. I think it was a Comet, or I had a Chevy too also during those years. And one of them had no floor on the passenger side. It was covered with a floor mat, but there was no floor.
I think we've all had those kind of cars.
Did you? You had a car with no floor? How come do they rot out less nowadays, or am I just?
It definitely seems like it's less now.
Because you don't see. Oh, knock on wood. Maybe you see it all the time because you're a mechanic. What do you call them? Like holes in mufflers.
Oh no, I see holes in mufflers.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Because I can remember as a kid buying muffler patches.
Yeah, and you can still buy muffler patches.
And I used to put them on, and they worked. The heat of the muffler, right?
Yeah.
What sealed them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that. So it is as common as it used to be?
Well, it's still, we see cars that come from up north.
Yeah. And they have...
And they're rusted.
Oh, because of the salt?
That's what everybody says, the salt, but they're rusted. I hate working on cars from up north.
Really?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely tell. And that's why Ocala is the largest auto auction in the world in Orlando. You got people can fly they come down every single week from all around the country to buy cars there because everybody wants cars from Florida.
Because why?
Because they're in just a lot better shape.
Because of the weather.
Because of the weather, yeah.
But we drive on the beach in this state. Doesn't that put salt underneath the car?
Probably, yeah, it would, but for the most part, you can definitely tell a car from up north.
Isn't that something?
Compared to a car from down here.
So if I visited up north with my car.
Nah, that won't be a problem.
You have to be there a long time, huh?
Yeah. That's like when Joey moved to Illinois.
Yeah.
We just had bought him an all-wheel drive vehicle because it was going to be the first time him driving in the snow and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, I Cosmoline the snot out of that thing.
You did what?
I undercoated it.
Okay.
And
Cosmoline the snot.
Cosmoline
the snot.
The snot out of his car.
Okay. Because that would be a great T-shirt slogan.
Hey, we own something. We had the mall, Larry. Isn't that guy that makes the T-shirts right in the door?
Yes. I Cosmoline the snot out of somebody's car.
Is that proper to say on the radio?
What is Cosmoline?
It's an undercoat. It's just a.
So you did that to protect. So here's my question. Where did he move? He moved to Champaign.
Champaign.
Okay. It's an urban area.
Matter of fact, it's called Champaign. What is it? Urban.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. Okay, so it's not up north, but it's the urban up north. In other words,
it's not up north.
Okay, well, what I mean to say...
It took me 15 hours to drive north.
No, I mean, when you say northern cars have more body rot than southern cars, that's what we're basically saying, right? Okay. Is it northern cars or urban northern cars? In other words, does a guy driving around in rural upstate New York going to have as much body rot because they don't put salt down at all those little cities. That's a city thing, right?
I
mean, if you lived in the Denellen of New York, like somewhere up in the middle of the state,
would there be?
I don't know.
Yeah, there would be. I'm telling you, there would be.
Okay.
I think there would be.
Maybe.
But there again, I don't really know. I've never lived there, so.
So there was one story this morning from the Ford Motor Company. I can't find it, but it was simple. They were going to lay off 10% of their workers.
Okay.
But they estimated a 10% increase in production. Doesn't that sound like they're going to use robots? If they're going to let go of 10% of their people, but they expect to make 10% more cars, that sounds like a robot story.
Sounds like almost like the government to me.
Yeah, right.
That's a very good question.
I mean, it never said anywhere in the story that they're going to replace those 10% with machines.
So I'm going to go back to my shop, right? And after the show's over, we're going to go back to the shop, and I'm going to lay off 10% of the people and produce 10% more work. Is that what? I
don't know if that was possible for what you do.
I don't think that's going to work for me.
But financially speaking, as a business owner, if you let go of, let's say you have 10 guys and you let go of one of them, that's 10% of your, and you replaced him with a machine that could do exactly what he does. I'm sorry, fella, but
gotta go.
All right. So, I mean, if it costs you, I don't know what you pay your guys. $100,000 a year? What do you pay your guys?
Go, shh, shh, shh. They might be listening, Larry.
But the machine might cost only $50,000 a year, let's say.
Okay.
I mean, it might be more cost effective to have a robot. You want to take a phone call?
Yeah, please.
Good morning. You're on the air with
Good
Matt.
morning. As a New Yorker, trust me, they use rock salt upstate. My son went to college upstate New York. I'm not talking Yonkers upstate. I mean, like up in the mountains. And I never seen cars 4 years old, pickup trucks. They were flapping in the wind like cardboard panels, just rocking right off. That rock salt, it's not, riding on the beach is nothing. The first time it snows, they coat the roads with rock salt. That dust is in the air and on everything until the end of May.
So that's the culprit then.
Until you get a couple of good rains to wash it away, but it's everywhere.
And you can tell by this guy's voice, he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I'm also a car collector, an antique car collector.
Okay.
Some of the best cars I got were in New York City, but they lived in garages. They never went out, and when the weather was bad, because it was a pain in the neck to get it out of the garage, so they just only used it on weekends or when the weather was good. And those the two most solid vehicles in my collection came out of New York City.
There you go.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah, they were spectacular. There wasn't an ounce of rust. There wasn't one even blemish of rust anywhere on them.
What is a car dealer in New York City? Are they in like upper floors and they have to bring the car down for the test ride?
Yeah, they do actually. On the west side of Manhattan, there's a couple of dealers still there, and they're multi-level dealers. And they got a spiraling type, driveway that bring the cars down. Wow. You know, I never bought a car. I never bought a car in the city myself, but I mean, I bought them in outlying areas. But they do sell them. Most of them are leases up there, though.
Oh, really? Leases? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah. So salt is the culprit, even if it's a tiny town.
Unbelievable. My son went to cat school in the Catskills. I never saw like 4-year-old pickup trucks with the doors were halfway gone. I never seen anything like it in my life.
Wow.
It was only as the crow flies, like 100 miles away from me.
Oh, wow. All right, thank you. Thank you for that.
You got it, pal. Guys, have a good day, guys.
You too.
All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly sunny for this Tuesday. Breezy in the afternoon, high 84 at the coast, 92 inland. Clear Tuesday night, low 67 inland, 76 along the coast. For Wednesday, partly sunny and becoming breezy, high 85 on the coast, 92 inland. Thursday, partly sunny, breezy in the afternoon, high 83 on the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com. Have you heard of Hyperdirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. Hyperdirectory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
We could all take a page out of the toddler book. Whether you deserve a raise or the restaurant server brings you the wrong entree, go ahead and speak up. Hang out with happy people more often. Positive emotions tend to be contagious. People who took aspirin regularly for at least 6 years ended up being 11% less likely on average to die of cancer.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
All right, 17 minutes after 10 o'clock. Phone lines are open, by the way, if you want to call Matt about your cars. You want to talk about motorcycles at all? Is there any car that's overrated? Like people, like we've got a story in the paper that says there's going to be a Jaguar dealership on 200. Is the Jaguar overrated? Is it really that? Is it worth the money people pay for it?
I don't know if any car is worth the money that people pay for them.
They're expensive cars.
You know, the way that, wow, it's just amazing seeing some of the prices of stuff.
We do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, good morning. There's another mechanic on another radio station that rails about the use of low-weight motor oils, 5W20s and 0W20s, and he says that the Florida summer, those motor oils don't have sufficient lubricating power, and that you should at least use a 30 in Florida.
Okay.
What does this radio station guy say?
Well, I'm there. If you look at the owner's manual of your car, there is normal driving condition and there's severe driving condition. And if you really read the data, it'll say under normal driving conditions, use this. Under severe driving conditions, use this. My recommendation is use what the manufacturer says to use in the conditions in which you live. There's a reason that, they're the ones that spend all this money on research and development. I had an opportunity. Jasper Engines is probably the largest aftermarket supplier of engines in the world.
Okay.
And when I have a special program. If someone comes to our shop and they buy a Jasper engine for their car, we have a special program for people that purchase a Jasper engine. Well, Jasper picked up on that, and they contacted me and flew me to Jasper, Indiana, to look at their 200,000 square foot facility that where they do all the engine rebuilds and transmission rebuilds, and it's quite an amazing place. We came into this one section at Jasper, and I saw this was when the 6-liter diesels were coming out for Ford, and there were some other car engines there. They were just engines, and we were talking about those particular engines. They weren't even out yet. They were coming out in the future. Ford, Chrysler, GM, they took their motors that they had engineered, researched, developed, and sent them to Jasper to Jasper Engines in Indiana for them to dissect them, go through them, let their R&D guys, let their research guys look at these engines and say, did we do okay? Can we make improvements? So the manufacturers spend a lot of money, and we were talking about in the very beginning of when we came back on the air, is there a car overrated for for the money? Well, part of the reason the cars are costing so much is because of the technology that's going into the cars. Where does that technology come from? It comes from research and development. So these guys are, when they're building this stuff, they know that this spark plug works better than this spark plug, and this lubricant works better than this lubricant. And I know some of this stuff has to do with sponsorships and money and promotions and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, do what the manufacturer says to do. And I think I just serviced a 1997, right before I came on the air, a 1997 Mercury Grand Marquis with 390,309 miles on it.
Wow.
And the car performs well, gives the guy great service. Why? Because he takes care of his car.
So one question I have, when you were giving your answer to the oils, you said normal conditions or
severe conditions.
Severe conditions. Can you define that? How do I know what my conditions are?
Well, in your owner's manual, it'll tell you. One of the things for Florida is the heat. So do we have 3 consecutive days of 95-degree weather
this week,
consecutive in a row?
Maybe this week we might have it, yeah.
So if we do, we're in severe driving conditions.
Oh, that's considered severe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and then if you're up north, maybe a cold issue is severe driving conditions. Do what it says under severe driving conditions, and I think you'll be okay.
So that sounds like when we get our oil changed in May, it should be a different grade oil, if depending on the manual.
Possibly.
Than in November.
If that's what you feel comfortable with, then I'd say go for it. If people are, when people come in and get their car serviced, people that care about what is done will say, I want 33 pounds of air in the tires.
Yeah, right.
Some people come in and they don't care that there's 33 pounds of air. Just put in there what it. I
always say, do what you know, because I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I honestly haven't even, I know you're going to hate me for this, I don't think I've even opened up my owner's manual.
I don't hate you for that. 99% of people don't open up the owner's manual.
I mean, I used to, because it used to be my go-to place in case I thought I was going to be a mechanic. But I never knew, it was never enough information. I always had to go to a real mechanic.
You don't know how many times people come in and get their car serviced, and I have to go into the owner's manual because I cannot remember how to reset some of the maintenance lights, because every car is different.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
So I'll go into the owner's manual, and it's like a brand new book.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I think it is in my car. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Matt.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
What are your feeling on these, what they call cabin filters? My wife she's got a Nissan Rogue, got a 52,000, I guess, on it for she took it to the dealer for a checkup and everything else, and they told her that her cabin filter was fine, and it has never been changed. Is there something wrong? Is it not working, or what would be the deal on that?
Well, let me ask you a question. If your car was here right now, and if I opened up the doors to your car, would it be pretty clean? Would you consider that to be a pretty clean car?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's the difference I see all the time. People that vacuum out their cars, keep it clean, keep the track, you know what I'm saying? Their cabin air filter seems to stay clean. People that don't clean their car and it's filthy inside, those are the ones that are just stopped up with stuff. If they're parked outside, there'll be leaves inside there. If they're parked in a garage, there won't be. So it all really depends on. It's kind of like the filter for the air conditioner in your home. Some people's air conditioner filters are probably just absolutely nasty, and some people's are probably not so bad because of what's floating around in the air.
Yeah.
So
If a cabin filter was, let's say, clogged or dirty, and that, would you notice that when you got your air conditioning on and it's blowing, but it isn't blowing? Would that be a clue that it needs to be changed?
yeah, a lot of times, it's not blowing as hard as it used to. Well, then you take the cabin air filter out, and you figure out why it's not blowing as hard as it used to.
Yeah. Would you recommend having that checked more often than what is recommended in the manual?
What I always do is, when I check them. If it's a little bit dusty or whatever, if it's the type of cabin air filter, like that's made out of like a fuzzy type material, it's pretty stout, I'll just take it over. Those things are expensive. They're more expensive than an air filter for your engine. So if it's cleanable, and when I say cleanable, I'll take it over to an air hose, I'll blow off the dust or whatever and put it right back in. If it's completely saturated with stuff, then it's time for a new one. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you don't need to check it every time you do an oil change. Maybe once a year, have the cabin air filter checked.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so before we run out of time, do you have any cars or trucks or vehicles that you want to focus on that you have on your lot?
Well, last week, I haven't even had a chance because we're just so busy. I haven't had a chance to fully service, but we bought a 2009 Nissan Altima. That's a beautiful car. A 2008 Nissan Rogue, which is a beautiful car. Someone's looking for a nice older car. I bought a 2002 Chevy Trailblazer LT, leathered up sunroof. It's a real nice car. They're just waiting to get through the process of going through the service department and getting all serviced up and what it needs. We got a 2002 Nissan Pathfinder that is in the works. We've just been so bit. I went in last Saturday and just said, I'm working on my cars. We've just been so busy that it's just been crazy.
Well, if I could recommend Crossroad Auto Sales to buy a car, if you're looking for a car for yourself or maybe graduation gift. I'm guessing, have you had this? People come in for a graduation gift?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. We were talking about first cars. Did you buy your first car or was it a gift?
No, I bought my first car.
Yeah, mine was a gift from my grandfather. Yeah, it was an old Comet, but hey, it was a car.
It was a car.
And it was my man cave. Well, young man cave. My car is still making man cave, actually.
My first car, we went to Daytona for spring break and we didn't make it home. It blew up.
Oh, no.
It blew up right there on 40.
Do you know, I have a car story similar to that. I thought it was going to blow up. I went to the movies in Ocala and I lived in Rainbow Lakes Estates. Long story short, it was a 25-mile drive from the Springs Theater, which is now a church, I think, right? Yep. All the way to the 5 miles into Rainbow Lakes. So, about halfway there, the car was overheating. I mean, back home. Halfway back, and it was the middle of the night, halfway back home. And my little light kept saying it was hot, and I kept driving, and my friend I was with said, I think this thing's going to blow up. And I said, now, when you say blow up, do you mean like in a movie? Well, yeah. Really? It can happen? And I'm telling you, Matt, it was boom! It was making little popping noises. So we went to the gas station, which was closed, but they had a water hose. And I just poured water all over. He says, oh, man, you forget it. This car's never going to run again. You're cracking everything. It was steaming. And, it worked. I mean, after that, it was fine. Isn't that weird? I must have drove 10 miles without any water in the radiator at all.
And it's still lived.
Well, there must have been a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It just was so hot. You know what? Another mistake I did one time? I put in a whole bottle. Oh my gosh, we gotta go. Of that Marvel Mystery Oil, and my muffler was literally glowing red. That you don't put a whole bottle in.
No, don't do that.
No. All right, go to Matt for your car to get it fixed. Don't do it yourself because you don't know what you're doing. Go to Crossroad Auto to get a new car. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. AP reporting that a European official says it might stop sharing intel with the U.S. if President Trump did give classified information to Russian officials, as reported in the Washington Post. This as the president tweets a defense this morning in the face of questions about the classified information, which,
according to the Post, came from a U.S. ally, which had not given permission for it to be shared with Russia. Russia has called the Post story fake. A spokesman for House Speaker Paul Ryan said the speaker hopes for a full explanation of.
Fox Radio's John Decker. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster had dismissed the reporting as false.
But they will tell you here at the White House, nothing that was said in that meeting somehow would put Americans at risk.
Fox's Kevin Corke. A Danish teenage girl found guilty of attempted terrorism for planning bomb attacks against 2 schools. An industrial production posting its biggest gain since 2014.